welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we have got an old guy electronic review. You know what? A lot of us old guys here still like to have a little bit of fun with the doohickeys and the gadgets, the thingamajigs, the thingamabobs, and this happens to be one of my favorite. This is part of my everyday carry, and we're going to have a look at the good things, the bad things, and everything in between about these Apple AirPods 2 second generation. Oh man, I love these things. Now, before we have a look at this, please don't forget to click that subscribe button, as well as like, share, and please leave a comment. I appreciate it so much. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers this year, and I can only do that with your guys' help. All right, so I had a pair of Apple AirPods Pro. I've had the AirPods since they came out. And I happened to get myself a set of AirPods. Actually, my wife got them for me for my birthday, and she had them engraved. Duo Feel Unos, which actually means two becomes one, which is on the tattoo on my arm. It just happens to be our little motto when we got married, so that's why that's on there. And I will be kind of going over what is in here and probably leave you a little bit of a should you go from the AirPods 2 to the AirPods second generation? I would say a resounding yes, and I'm going to tell you why here in but a moment. Actually, all right, so let's have a look here. You can see that they come in, of course, always gorgeous Apple packaging. It's always a pleasure to open up these Apple things because they put as much, I think, thought into designing their products as they do, or designing their cases as they do their products. And I think I was absolutely blown away by just the overall fit and finish of everything Apple related. I'm such a fanboy, you wouldn't believe it. And here, of course, we have the brand new AirPods. Let's have a look inside here. You've got, of course, your documentation, your registration. Doesn't come with any stickers though, which is all right. My stickers, I actually do use my stickers. I stick them places. So I wish they would I wish these AirPods Pro would come with the little Apple sticker. I kind of look forward to those every time I get a brand new Apple product, and I've got quite a bit. So let's get out of here. Now, one of the other main differences in the bottom here of the new AirPods Pro, of course, you've got yourself a lightning cable, which is the USB Type-C. Everybody seems to be moving to the USB Type-C, but one of the main things is it now comes with four sets of ear tips. So you've got the two that are on here, and you've also got the three that are in here. So it goes right to extra small, small, large, and of course the medium's on there, and I fit medium, so I didn't have to change them at all. There is a few other things here. Now, one thing though, I do want to say, a couple of things. If you happen to have if you buy yourself a set of AirPods and they're really exceedingly inexpensive and they're brand new, one of the things to look for to make sure that this is not a clone, if you can, is this particular package here is a heavy duty kind of paper, not a plastic. The other thing with the clones is they don't stick to there's that ridge that's inside here. The regular, the clones will, as soon as you open up this little thing, they'll all just seem to fall out. They're not stuck in there like the true Apple ones are. So according to now, I don't know if they've gone and changed that, but according to a video I watched there, because I was a little bit concerned, I actually bought these from Costco, so I didn't have to worry about them being a clone, but it was just something for me to kind of look at. And something for you to look at. If you happen to find a set and you wonder if they're really, really too inexpensive, then there's probably a catch. Make sure you check that. All right, so let's go over this here. So one of the things here with the Apple AirPods second generation is they've given you a little bit larger battery life than the first generation. Now you get about 30% longer battery life just on the talk time. The music time itself is about 6 hours with just the buds. Now with the case, they're both 30 hours. So there is total of 30 hours listening time with the case and the buds. So I mean, that's a day and a bit of listening for music. And if you can keep these earbuds in your ears for 30 hours straight, oh my goodness, all the power to you. Now, another way to quickly tell that you've got yourself a second generation is the fact that you've got a lanyard on the new on the side here, a lanyard hole, or you can kind of put a little lanyard, as well as a little speaker, which is really comes in handy when you're trying to find these. Unfortunately, I deal with a 2-camera system. I was gonna video my iPod or my iPhone finding these, but my main camera is dead. I forgot to plug it in, so I've only go with the 1-camera setup. I apologize I don't get to do that for you here today, but maybe down the road I will do another video on this with kind of showing a few more of the features, because there is some really cool features with this. All right, so you can have these also engraved too as well, like the previous version. You can even have a new thing called a Memjoy, which is kind of your or a MeJoy, I'm sorry, which is your own little kind of face in an emoji setup on the front. I think it's really cool. Now, one of the things with this is it actually comes with the same chip as an AirTag. So I've got some AirTags, and they are so gorgeous to try to find them. So if you've got these, they fell out of your pocket and they're in your couch, you could actually open up your iPhone and you can have a look at them, and it will actually pinpoint exactly where they are. Well, this is playing a sound with and quite a loud sound with this particular speaker in there. So no doubt about it, you've got the ability to find these wherever you have them inside the house. Now, the other thing here too is, well, these happen to be IPX4 rated as far as water resistance. Now, they are water resistant, not waterproof. So if you're sweating, you're working out with them, or you've got yourself a you're walking through the rain, you shouldn't have to worry about it too much, but they are definitely not waterproof. So do not take the case, do not take anything, the earbuds in the water, don't go swimming with them, because they will kaput. All right. Now let's have another couple of things here. Now, another difference with this is the fact that the back is magnetic. So there happens to be a little bit of a magnet here. So it will work with MagSafe. As you see, it can pop up, and then it also hangs there, which is really cool. But another change here, which I think is fantastic, is the fact that your iWatch charger will charge it too as well. You kind of got to get it right, and you'll hear it ding here in a second. Turn on my there. I had to turn on the power to my thing here. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, get yourself one of these Luxtudes monster batteries, throw it in your bag. This will charge my phone, I think 11 times. This is huge. These big old batteries are fantastic, and I love them. A little bit off topic there for a second, guys. All right, so yes, it does work with that. Now, one of the other things too here. So let's have a look at the AirPods themselves. They've got fantastic. That's one of the things when the original AirPods, or I guess you want to call them earpods, first came out. They didn't have any rubber tip, so you had to have kind of certain size ears or they didn't work. Not only that, the stock was quite a bit longer than them, and I just say they just weren't as comfortable at all. I absolutely love these things as far as their fit. I have got medium-sized ears, so the AirPods Pros here that came with these tips, they fit my ears perfectly, and I think they're absolutely the seal on them is excellent. Now, another difference here, just a quick difference, you can see that you're not going to get too much of a difference between the first and second generation, other than you can see that you've got that extra vent in here. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 in the first generation. The second generation adds a little bit of an air vent in there. So I know sometimes when you're dealing with earphones that have got a perfect fit inside your ear, a little bit of a seal, you can it feels a little bit uncomfortable, like you're underwater in a pool. Well, this little bit of a vent, it prevents that. It just allows some equalization between the inside of the AirPod and the outside, so that's way more comfortable. Now, the other thing is, before, on the first generation, there was a no volume control on the stock, where this one happens to have the volume control now, which is excellent. I hated having to get my phone out and adjust the volume or tell Siri to do it. This way you can simply squeeze it and you just run your finger. There's a little flat spot on the front here, and you just kind of run your finger up and down to do the volume. Now, there is no actual little button here, but there is a haptic sound, and it just, when you press on it, it clicks and it fools your brain into thinking there's a little bit of a button there. So you can control your, you can assign different controls to each one of your earpods. So your right one can do something, or your left one can do something else. Like the left one here, if you press and hold, you can talk to Siri. This one here, you can press and hold and it'll pause, or you can have this one pause and play. If you do pause, one click, double click, I do believe fast forwards the track, and triple click rewinds the track. And then you could also use it to answer phone calls and stuff like that, to hang up. So it has a multitude of a button, but there's no buttons there. It's just ever so weird. I mean, when you click at it, it feels like there's actually a button there. It's amazing how they kind of fool your brain with it. Now, oh goodness, here. I happen to think that this here is going to scratch up in your pocket. I mean, they got this white on it, and it just is kind of shiny. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell there's a little bit of stuff here and there. If you have these in your pocket with keys, it is going to mark up and it is going to mar. It is marking up even though I've got a case for it. This one happens to be an ESR tough armor case. I always cut the side protruding lanyard hole thing off because I hate that sticking out. It goes in and out of my pocket so much better, and I'll never have these on a lanyard. So this one happens to be magnetic. And I'll do a review of this ESR case, but I would recommend getting yourself some sort of case with this, because I don't think this finish will hold up a lot in your pocket. And if you drop these, I would rather have them in here, and I have dropped these quite a bit. That's the one big thing too as well. For the first and second one. This one, the magnetic closure on this is so much tougher than this version here. When I drop these together, the lid very rarely comes open. This one with my old controller, when I drop these, or my old body armor on there, it would pop open, these would go flying out, and I almost lost one time. So this one, if I drop them, they don't pop open like the old one. So that's another reason to upgrade. All right. Now, the overall speech phone call taking ability is excellent. When I have these in, I actually prefer talking on my phone with these rather than my phone up to my face. I get a way better sound conversation. I can hear quite a bit better, and the people can hear me quite a bit better, because I have a habit of kind of turning the phone away from my mouth on the iPhone, and it drives my wife absolutely batty. Not as batty as, never mind, I'm not going to say it. Has to do with after the deed and some curtains and wiping a certain part of your body. I know that drives women crazy. All right. So, just an overall music quality is outstanding with these new, this new H1 chip, an H2 chip. Now, the H2 chip allows you to have, I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands or thousands of calculations per second about your music it does at the same time, as well as the noise cancellation is excellent. I am not an audiophile anymore. I mean, I used to be a long time ago. I used to build my own crossovers and stuff like that, my own subs. I did all that stuff, and I would not listen to music unless I could adjust the EQ and everything in vehicles or in my home, in other people's homes. It just drove me absolutely batty how tuned my ear was, to the point where one time, a little off topic, I bought a hi-fi VHS, and I could hear some digital encoding or flutter in all the voices that nobody else could hear. It drove me batty. I ended up having to concentrate on not hearing it, and over time I just had to detune my ear because it just drove me crazy. Now, the very first time I put these AirPods in and I put the noise cancellation and I played some music, I had such a smile on my face. It was amazing. Now, I can't say that this is going to be better than, say, the Bose out there or some really super high-end Sony, because I haven't heard those. But what I can tell you is, from an ex-audiophile's ear, I was blown away by the sound quality on here, the bass, the reproduction. It just absolutely astounded me, and I was so happy. And that could be because I'm an old fart. But you know what? Even because I did listen to these ones, music on these quite a bit, and they were good. They were very, very good. They certainly weren't considered neck and neck out there with the best, but they were very, very good. these ones here are way, way better. I would say that these are out there neck and neck with just about any sort of AirPods or any sort of inner ear music reproduction devices out there. Absolutely outstanding. So now the other thing here too as well, you've got, not only do you have noise cancellation, and basically noise cancellation is just it seals everything up. It's quiet. So if you're sitting there in a room and there's somebody outside with a jackhammer going, or something like that, if you put these in your ears, you set on the noise cancellation, you can literally hear the sound just to nothing. And then your music starts, and it's like listening to sound in a sound room. That's just for people who are not perhaps super familiar with what noise cancellation is. All right. So another thing here has what's called transparency mode. Now, transparency mode is if you happen to have your earphones in and you don't want to have everything around you cut off. Like, let's say you're riding a bike and you need to hear the traffic, somebody honks their horn, things like that. Or if you're walking and people are talking to you constantly, you're having to interact with people and you don't want to keep on taking your thing in and out of your ear or shutting it on and off. You have what's called the transparency mode, and that basically activates your speakers in here, and it allows the outside ambient noise to filter through while you're listening to music. So, but a really, really good thing about that is it'll also limit that noise. So if you happen to have your earphones in, and let's just say you happen to walk around a corner and somebody starts off a jackhammer, and it is, 120 decibels, well, your earpods are going to limit that to 85 decibels. So something where it's not going to harm your ears. Now, I haven't tried this to see what the upper limits are going to be. I do use the transparency mode, especially when I'm out and about and I'm, say, shopping, because I love having my earphones in, shopping, listening to a podcast. It makes my day go by so much nicer. Or, if I'm waiting in line, say at Costco and, there's 40 people in line, well, I'll just pop in my earpods, listen to a podcast, and then, I'm entertained for those 15 minutes while I'm waiting in line, rather than sitting there twiddling my thumbs, wishing death on the other people in line in front of me. Now, so that's when I'll use them. So if somebody talks to me or says, excuse me, I can hear them. I'm not ignoring them. And I think it's really, really excellent. I absolutely love it. Now, another thing that you have with these AirPods is called spatialized audio. And what basically spatialized audio does is it just allows you to, like if you're watching a screen and you've got your EarPods and you happen to turn your head, well, as you turn your head, it's like this now will get a little bit louder. Turn your head this way. It's like it's like the speaker's kind of following like a true to life audio source right in front of you, plus any of the surround sound too as well. Now, the thing as far as the the spatialized audio, there is a thing called, I gotta pop my thing open here. There's a thing called personalized spatialized audio, where you can use your camera on your iPhone and your iPhone in concert with this to take pictures of your ears and your head, and it'll measure the distance between your ears, how the size of ears you have, like the canals and stuff like that, the folds. I don't know exactly how it works, but it creates a specialized audio stream just for you and the size of your head. Now, I haven't really kind of gone that far with it yet. I haven't tried it out to see if it makes that much of a difference, but it is there. So I just thought I would, kind of explain that to you. All right. Now, one of the things here too as well that I think is outstanding with this is now if you're, especially like me, you're an Apple kind of guy. I've got the Apple iPhone. I've got the the EarPods. I've got my iPad Pro, and then of course I've got my Mac here too as well. Now, the thing that I think is beautiful about these, and one of the reasons why I'm such a huge fan of these, is the fact that it will seamlessly transfer from my iPhone to my AirPad, or to my iPad to my Mac, and my wife's MacBook Pro. It'll even transfer to that because we're all on the same Apple ID, and I love the way that it seamlessly transitions. Now, the one thing I do have to say though is if you are if you've got these AirPods and you connect them to your phone, I would say periodically, every 3, 4, 5 months, disconnect them and reconnect them again, because it just seemed like I had lots of updates on my iPhone, especially I went from iOS 15 to 16 with a lot of those new things, and it didn't seem like it was connecting as seamless and as quick. It was a little bit slow, and it seemed like it was hunting a little bit. It'd pop up on the screen that the AirPods were connected, but it would take a bit for the sound to kind of run through here, and it was a little bit frustrating. The other day I had to disconnect and reconnect for some reason, and all of a sudden it's back to like it was when it was brand new. So it's very, very quick, where it goes from the the iPhone to the iPad, super, super quick. And if you're an Apple fanboy like me, this is worth it hugely. All right. Now, it does have a couple of other things too as well. Like if you happen to, now I don't understand this happening quite a bit, but if you happen to have your AirPod out and somehow somebody else's AirPod gets inside your case, well, it'll chime and say that there's a mismatched AirPod in there. So look out. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you and your missus are listening to music at the same time, and then all of a sudden you decide that you want to throw your AirPods down on the floor for some reason, and then you go to put them away and they're the wrong ones. Well, it's smart enough to know that it'll chime. You know what? It's not something that happens, I think, every day, but I think it's something that happens. If you need it, it's there. So overall, is it worth it to upgrade to this? I would say, for me, it was no-brainer. One of the things that happened to this particular one is one of the microphones on one of the side of the stocks here decided to quit working. The music was okay, but if I had one earpod in, especially the one that I use all the time, which is the right one overwhelmingly, I would not be able to answer my phone calls. I could, but I wouldn't be able to talk. It was very, very low. It was annoying. I had to yell on the phone, and it was awful. And it was about $140 Canadian to replace this. And I thought to myself, for just a little bit more money, you're going to get yourself the second generation. And I was like, nah. I thought, what the hell? Because I had to spend that $140 anyways. These in Canada here are $329. I think in the States they're $249. But you know what? I thought that's an awful lot of money just for these AirPods. And then I put them in my ears, and then I started fooling around with trying to find that speaker. I was absolutely blown away by how much better these sounded than these, and how much more features there were with this. If I had kind of did a little bit more research and realized how many more features there were in this one than the other one, I would have done it a long time ago. I think this is excellent. I think it's a no-brainer. Even if these are perfectly good, I think you'll appreciate the noise cancellation. I guess let's put it this way. If you're an audiophile and you care about how good your music sounds, and then some of those features, it's a no-brainer. For me, I put them in my ears. I was blown away. It was a no-brainer to switch to that. From the first generation to the second generation. If these are working absolutely perfectly, and you're not a crazy audiophile and use them like me most of the time just to kind of just listen to some podcasts once in a while, and it's not the end of the world, then you're okay here. I think with these first generation, they're still a great sounding thing. Still trying to find them is easy, but the versatility of these new ones just blows it away for me. So I hope this wasn't as convoluted as I meant it to be. It's been a while since I did a little bit of review of some electronics, but you know what? I'm 50 plus, and if you're 50 plus like me, you want some straight dope, well, hopefully I gave it to you. Please stay safe out there. Please keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.